You've seen the movie, right? You've heard the insane stories, the parties, the charisma, the absolute sheer audacity of the Wolf of Wall Street. But behind all that Hollywood shine is a story of pure, calculated deception. So let's dive into the system that made it all happen.
Just think about that for a second. The guy lied about penny stocks, made an absolute fortune, and did less than 2 years in prison. And then Hollywood basically turns him into a legend. It's this incredible pipeline from crime to celebrity. But here's the thing. This wasn't just some chaotic, greedy free-for-all. It was a machine. A repeatable, teachable process designed to separate people from their money. So the real question, the one we're going to break down right now, is how did his method actually work? What was the secret sauce? To really understand this system, you've got to understand the man who built it. And believe it or not, that story starts way before Wall Street with a teenager selling frozen desserts on a beach. This timeline really tells you everything you need to know about his motivation. At just 16 years old, he clears 20 grand in a single summer selling Italian ices. He gets into dental school and quits on day one, literally day one, because the dean told him it wasn't the best way to get rich. Then he starts a door-to-door meat business that completely flames out. But right there, in the wreckage of that failed meat business, Belfort has this massive light bulb moment. He realizes his superpower. It wasn't about the steaks or the fish or whatever he was selling. The product was irrelevant. He understood you could sell anything if you knew how to sell. And that single idea gave birth to this, the straight line system. This wasn't just some sales pitch. No, Belfort treated it like a science, a weapon designed for one single purpose: to get a yes, no matter what it took.
So what is it exactly? Well, straight line persuasion is all about moving a potential customer from hello to yes in the most direct, unbroken path possible. The whole idea is to completely control the conversation and just bulldoze any objection or question that might take you off that path. You're basically creating a reality where saying no just isn't a logical option.
And it all stands on these 3 psychological pillars. First, you establish absolute authority. You are the expert. What you say is fact. They have to listen to you. Second, you create insane, almost painful urgency. They have to do this right now or they will lose out forever. And third, and this is the magic trick, you loop and overcome objections. Any doubt they have isn't a stop sign. It's just a little detour before you grab them and pull them right back onto that straight line to a yes.
So with this system perfected, Belfort didn't just sell some stocks. He built an entire empire of deception. He basically unleashed this psychological weapon on thousands of totally unsuspecting people. You know, the absolute genius of the scam was the branding, the name, Stratton Oakmont. It sounds so prestigious, doesn't it? Like it's been on Wall Street for 100 years. The reality? It was a boiler room in a strip mall. They sold this idea of Wall Street legitimacy, but they had zero oversight. And those expert analysts? They were college dropouts and hustlers that Belfort trained himself. The whole thing was a complete illusion. So what did a real pitch actually sound like? Well, it would start with a hook like this. Something designed to make you feel special, to create this sense of being on the inside. This is a ground floor opportunity. The big guys haven't even sniffed this one out yet. Right away, you feel like you've been given a golden ticket. Okay, but what if you hesitate? What if you say, well, I don't really understand what the company does? This is where the system just runs you over. You don't have to understand the company, sir. You just have to understand the upside. See what they did there? They dismiss your very valid concern, and then they hit your ego by implying that smart money doesn't ask questions. And here it is, the knockout punch. This is that manufactured urgency, that deep, primal fear of missing out. Do you want to be first, or do you want to read about it in Forbes a year from now saying, God, I wish I had listened? They paint this picture of your future regret so clearly that the only way to avoid that feeling is to just say yes right now. That's the straight line. But behind all the clever tactics and the Hollywood glamour, we have to remember who actually paid the price. These weren't Wall Street sharks. They were working class people, retirees, a teacher who lost everything, a veteran who invested his life savings, good people who lost it all because of these lies. And of course, an empire built on pure hype could never last. It fell apart just as fast as it was built. Stratton Oakmont starts in '89. And by the early 90s, it's this absolute carnival of fraud. But by '96, the feds are kicking in the door, and just 2 years after that, Belfort is indicted. The party was over. But even with the FBI knocking, Jordan Belfort was not done selling.
In fact, you could say his final, and maybe his most audacious sale, was selling out everyone he knew to save himself. He's facing 30 years behind bars. So what does he do? He does what he always does. He finds a buyer and makes a deal. He sold out his partners, his friends, his most loyal guys, all to get his own sentence cut down to just 22 months in a comfy, minimum security prison.
Now, the court ordered him to pay back a staggering amount of money to his victims, $110 million, a number that was supposed to represent the financial ruin he caused. But here's the kicker. To this day, only a tiny fraction of that $110 million has ever been paid back. For most of the victims, there was never any real justice. The money was just gone. And this might be the most unbelievable twist in the whole story. Today, Jordan Belfort is a successful motivational speaker. The man who perfected this system of pure deception now travels the globe teaching sales and ethics to sold-out crowds. He literally sold his own crime story and turned it into his brand.
Which kind of leaves us with this really unsettling question, right? Maybe the scariest part of this whole thing isn't that he did it, or even that he basically got away with it. Maybe it's that so many of us watched the movie and cheered for him. So why? Why are we so fascinated by the wolf?